Comes nicely packaged, double boxed. Got this from Summit Racing. Seems like it's a fixed price, so you pretty much don't necessarily get a better deal anywhere else as far as I could find. So Summit would get me here in 2 days. So today I'm going to be dry fitting this baby in there. It's a little crushed. Let's hope that doesn't matter. A little crushed too. We'll see. And there's the tank. Now that's pretty nice looking. It's actually powder coated silver. So normally you get tanks, they are just raw silver with a little bit of basically bare metal with some little bit of oil to keep them from rusting, and then they rust. This one is powder coated, so it should look exactly like this 10 years from now. Fuel fill right there, so I'm hoping the fuel fill come out where the license plate is on the back of the F100. Fuel pump, fuel sending unit, then the bed will come down about here, and should be good. We'll see how it fits. I'm going to dry fit this thing today. There's the gas tank. Just set it on the frame up front. I'm going to fit it back here. But as you can see, this cross member is going to have to go, and I'll have to put it back in because that's actually right where I'm keeping the leaf springs. So that is actually to help the stability of the leaf springs, so the frame doesn't flex out. So I'm going to remove it for now, fit in the gas tank, and then make a new boxed version or modify this one to go back in the spot above the tank. Probably channel it a little bit, and then possibly add a lower one that kind of wraps around the bottom of the tank. So we'll see. But anyway, I got to get out of the way first, so I can mock this tank up, because that is where the tank's going. It's really the only option. And right here is the back of the bed, so I'm hoping to bring it pretty far back so that the fill spot for this tank here will be able to come out where the license plate is, or around there, or just above the license plate, so it's not taking up any of the bed. We'll see. So how wide is the actual fat part of the gas tank? Right there. There, it's about 30 1/2. So I've got to widen the lower part of the frame. Basically, I'm going to widen it to 31. That gives me a 1/4 inch off each side. I drilled out the rivets, got the centerpiece out right over there, and now the frame on the inside. Let's see, inside edge to edge. There we go. It's about 33 1/2. So I'm going to shrink it to where I'll have 31. So I need to shave off a little over a 1/2 inch down each inside rail, all the way down. And that's what I'm about to do now. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to shave off a 1/2 inch all the way down, so that the gas tank can slide in underneath the top rail, across this rail. Make a small spacer here, because that does jog up. So I'm going to, whatever that distance is there, I think it's about 1 inch. That way the tank will should sit right around there. I'm debating on going on the underside, but I'm going to see how low the tank sits that way. So not sure if I'm going to want the extra inch, 1.5 inches, or put it on the bottom so I can easily take the tank out without having to take the bed off later. So I've decided I'm going to mount the fuel tank actually on the bottom side. So the fuel tank's going to come up from the bottom, and I didn't want to just bolt the fuel tank to these sheet metal holes and have all the weight on just the sheet metal. So what I decided to do is make a frame. This is flipped upside down, obviously. I'm going to make a frame out of some angle iron and solid stuff I had at the shop here. So, and it's a 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch 120 wall tubing for the cross rails that are going to go across. And if you picture, it's going to be up underneath right here, kind of like that, and that's going to support the gas tank across the length. It's also going to actually form a square that's going to tie the bottom of the frame rail here and toward the front, where there used to be this particular piece right here used to be right in there, and what it looked like it was there for is pretty much this is where the rear springs are supporting the rail to keep the rail from twisting, and to give it some strength. Now granted, there's going to be a bumper back here tying these rear parts of the rail in, but I wanted to add just a little bit more stability to prevent the bottom of this rail to come in. I'm going to add a 1 inch by probably 1.5 inch cross member thick going across the top of the tank to the top of the rail to keep the top from flexing in, but I wanted something on the bottom half. So just these 2 extra rails here and one at the front of the tank should just add a lot more rigidity to the bottom of these rails being able to push inward, because I am staying with leaf springs currently, just so we can get this thing driving. If it drives fine, great. If not, we'll cut it out and do a 4-link later, but right now that's the plan. It's going to be a daily driver. So that's the plan. So let's see, I'm going to get this thing welded up today. See how it goes. Well, the gas tank is in. It's going to be in permanently. And what I did is my frame, it's 1.5 by 1.5 inch square tube going straight across each side. And that ties the 2 lower frames together. And 1.5 angle iron kind of goes along here. That lets me have 3 bolts on each side, and the gas tank comes up, and then the frame comes up. I put spacers here because you see the frame jogs up a little bit, so these spacers let this bolt straight up. So now this sandwiches the tank in between the bottom of the frame and the A-iron. It's got it sandwiched in there. It's also bolted. The tank itself is bolted. It comes powder coated. This is a Holley EFI tank for a 70 Mustang, and I got this because I wanted the fill to come out the back, and the fill is going to come out and then through the license plate, I'm hoping. That's where the fuel pump that comes with the kit goes. Sending unit, how much fuel you have, and it fits absolutely perfect in here. All I had to do is I had to narrow the lower part and radius this to make the width a little bit wider. But you can see the frame already had a little bit of a radius on the top and a little bit of a radius on the bottom, so I just had to move that radius forward. But now that tank is in, bolted in, and it's removable from the bottom, so I don't have to do anything. I don't have to slide it out the frame rails. I take these bolts off, this frame comes down, the tank comes down, so I'll be able to service that without having to pull the bed off later. The F100 is done, complete, and now this is the finished result of the rear gas tank fill. I did have to notch the tailgate to clear the fill port, but the nice thing is, lower the tailgate, the bed is at its normal height. I have a fully functional bed with no filler hole cut into it. and I think the sacrifice made to just notch the tailgate a little bit to clear it was well worth it. It fills up nice. The EFI tank from Holley really worked well. I put a fuel pressure regulator in the engine compartment to drop the fuel pressure down to 40 psi, which the 4.6 liter Ford motor wants, and this has really worked out well. Easy to fill up. It does have a simple gas tank cap, and license plate cover comes up, it covers it up so you don't see much of it, but way better than actually having a fill port inside the bed, which obviously takes up your bed space and then you spill on your wood. So anyway, I'd highly recommend this as a solution. It fits, gives you 20 gallons of tank, and it comes with pretty much, other than fabricating the mount, it was not a horrible thing to do.